Hi my friends, how you all doing? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another very special episode of our City Zoo build, Tropical Wings Zoo. So we are back in TW twice in 1 week. Aren't you guys lucky? If you missed the last episode that went out, it is linked above, my friends. It was the first of 2 builds I have done using the new Twilight Pack DLC. Now, those that see that video will know that I did receive the DLC early from Frontier, so we jumped ahead, we got the fruit bat put into the zoo. Today, I'm actually going to be showing you 2 more animals from the brand new DLC. One of them's a massive surprise. Let's get into it. So here we are in TW, we are at the entrance. This is where I always start, gang, and I have been doing a hell of a lot of work. I've actually done a little bit of a rework on the prairie dog, nothing too crazy, but I felt like I wanted it to match up with the brand new habitat that I've built, and I'm going to be showing you my new raccoon and skunk habitat. Yes, I've bought the skunk to this zoo. When I was doing it, I just felt like it would be perfect if we could get the skunk in as well. I really like the model. I think they're really cute. I thought it looked cool, so I thought that's what we would do. So let's head on over, gang, to the brand new habitat. Now, the other thing that I do want to bring to your attention is that there is a bit of work that's been going on in the backstage. It isn't finished. It is something I want to work on, and I'm going to talk to you for the what's happening next, because I actually think that before I crack on with the next big project, I want to get this backlot area finished, and I want to rework something over here before we do that, basically. So there's been like a lot of work basically going on over in this area here. Now, as you can see, there is our brand new habitat, gang. This is the newest addition to Tropical Wings. I'm kind of teasing it. As you can see, I have absolutely nailed the foliage for a change. I have got the foliage exactly how I want it, some beautiful shade. To the left hand side, you just kind of have to ignore how open it is. There is going to be foliage and whatnot put there, but as you all know, I don't add stuff. I like to forward plan, and I won't add stuff unless I really feel the need to. We know there's going to be a kind of restaurant going over in this area, so I just wanted to leave a bit of space before I kind of cracked on. First things first, this is all kind of like the rework on the backstage. So this road finished about here before, but I've now added this in. I'm going to put some plant in here. We're going to probably gravel this up and have some like goods and all that sort of stuff over here with this brand new bit. This carries on around and it goes to this stables. We're going to talk about that in the what's happening next though. And then as you can see, this pathway goes up. I like this little curve in the road. I was kind of left with no choice. We had to, because of this building here and what I'm going to be doing with it. But yeah, all this isn't finished. There's a lot of foliage work that needs to be done back here. I've actually got a type of foliage design in mind, and I'm actually going to be trying something a little different with the foliage potentially. You know, the stuff we learn and we watch other creators and whatnot, and I see a really kind of cool idea for foliage, so we're definitely going to kind of head back in this direction. But the reason I'm showing you this backstage area is because obviously we've got this bit of a slope here. We've got this actually looks really cool, doesn't it, to be fair. I love all the big kind of trees and plants back here, and this then sloped bit with this pathway. But we had a bit of difficulty basically getting this building in, to be honest with you, because I had to get it up, up to this level. That's what I wanted, but then we had to come down, and it was like, how am I going to get around this and disguise everything? And as you can see, we've done a staircase. We have actually got an access ramp there as well. I do need to kind of carry on the wall potentially, but I'm going to do it lower because it's just going to look weird, because I've used the wall on this habitat basically. But yeah, we do have a ramp in place as well, and then we go up, and as you can see, we then kind of drop down ever so slightly. Now I've kind of left all of this open. There is a good chance I actually might take a path this way and then put a gate in up here, because then there would be access here, access here, and there would be access here. So 3 pretty cool access points for our zookeepers and staff and whatnot. So let me show you what I've been doing, shall we? So before I reveal the raccoon and the skunk habitat, you can kind of see it a little bit now. I have done a tiniest of work over here on the prairie dog. Now what I've done is I've just redone all of the walls and I've done the glass viewing sections. I've recoloured the outside of the building and added a few wooden bits and whatnot. The reason for it was that the old design just looked really odd next to this, and with them being the same, I actually think the area almost has its own kind of theme without it being too heavily themed, and I actually quite like that. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I've done it. Obviously we're going with this slightly different design here as well with the wooden planters, and I've got to say I'm absolutely loving them. Like, I really like them. I much prefer them to the stone planters, to be honest. But yeah, I think a lot of that is just the design in the planters as well, mixing in a bit of gravel and then throwing the plants and the trees, and yeah, change the bins up, change the benches up. We've got lots of signage to do back here. I think once we get the signage done, I do feel like areas feel far more complete when we do the signage, and I did really want to get the signs done for the habitat, but just run out of time, unfortunately. But yeah, other than that, on the prairie dogs, I have added some more like wood as well. I just felt like it maybe needed something. It might even need a little bit more, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's quite a big hab, and I think looking at the planting I've just done on this habitat, I'm not sure if I like the planting all that much either. We might have to just have a little sort of mini rework of the planting in here. It's not that I don't like it. I actually think this is quite tasteful. I do think it looks a lot better with this wood around the outside and these new little plots for our kind of education and whatnot. As you can see, we've kind of done the same around here as well. This bit here, I'm definitely going to put some wood along there and turn that into a planter as well. Get a tree in there, I think would be great, just to cast a bit of shade. And yeah, this building, I just need to rework the roof. But yeah, I haven't reworked the inside. I might do that at a later date, but I've been experimenting basically with a different kind of design for the inside for smaller animals. So yeah, that's the prairie dog, and that's just the little updates that I've been doing. And yeah, so now I'm going to show you what we have got for our raccoon and our skunk, and this is it, gang. This is what I have produced, and I'm gonna say something as far as like a natural habitat. I genuinely think it's one of the prettier habitats that I've built. Now, the only thing that needs a little bit more work is this building over here, in my opinion. I need to just do a bit of detailing on the outside. It's not, I don't know, it's just not working for me at the moment, and I need to get some lights and that hooked up inside, and the inside is, I don't know, I feel like maybe it's a bit rushed, but it looks alright, and it kind of does what it needs to do. So yeah, it's one of them. It doesn't really need to be, you know, too crazy or whatnot, but I'm going to explain all anyway. And then we got this building. I did try to do a pitched roof on this building because I wasn't sure if a flat roof was going to look that good. But when I did the pitched roof, the building ended up just looking so big. And you got to think, these animals are not, they're not large. We didn't need a massive building. To be fair, this building is probably a bit overkill, but it is for two species, and when you look inside, you're going to kind of understand why I've kind of done this building the way that I have, basically. So yeah, I don't really know where to start. As you can see, the wall design is a bit different. I've used the wood, bunch of wood. I've used like plaster and whatnot, and we've just kind of gone with this really nice, like, subtle design. Got our glass in. These new glass pieces are so much better than the thicker ones. And then on the other side, I've kind of just banked this ever so slightly, and then we've got the concrete in to protect it. Now, a lot of this is just because of the raccoon's ability to climb. Unfortunately, there just isn't a piece in the game that you could use to replicate, something that's thin enough like an electrical wire, which is a bit disappointing. I'm going to be honest with you, because I would like to have done like a little electrical wire all the way kind of along the tops, because all the habitats I was looking at, even along here as well, along this wall, all the habs I were looking at where they weren't kind of enclosed inside, like, I hate using the word cage, but with something with sides and a top. They use like electrical, basically, wire that's hooked up, obviously, and it's just a deterrent for the animals. And so It would have been nice to have something like that, but wasn't to be. But anyway, I kind of did this design, and I think it looks pretty good actually. I think the outside looks really pretty. I think all the wood looks really nice, and I've used this wood because obviously this is going to be very much like a North American area, isn't it? You know, we've got the prairie dogs, we've got the skunk, the raccoon, we're going to have the beaver, you know, the California sea lion as well. We've got the wolves going in, and I know wolves can, you know, they're worldwide, but you know, we're going to kind of look at this as kind of a bit of a North American area, and I just really thought like maybe using them lot of wood and, you know, going quite natural might be kind of the best thing to do. I've also used a few different trees here to do the decorating. I've used like the cork trees, and I can't remember what this one's called. This is a really pretty tree though, it really is, and I feel like I need to go around the zoo and change some of these trees up, because when we started this zoo we didn't have half the foliage that we've got now. So yeah, it's really different. Now as far as the actual habitat is concerned, you're going to see I've gone super natural for this habitat. I just wanted to go with grasses and, like, you know, it be really sort of overgrown with all of these like climbing, you know, bits that are coming out. We've even got these like big bits of wood that are kind of shooting out, that have been kind of dug into the ground, that don't really go anywhere, but I can imagine a zookeeper kind of putting a bit of food up there when they go in and stuff. And you know, we've got all these roots, and yeah, it really is, it's all over the place basically, gang. We've got some that go quite high, we've got a lot that are low, and yeah, there's lots going on. There really is. It would be impossible probably for me to cover every single bit of this. And as you can see as well, like, there is a slight bank to it. It really kind of works down into this water. What I've done with this, by the way, I used that gravel piece. Now, I use the Planet Zoo Plus mod for anybody that wants to know, because I like to create doorways that are a bit more realistic. I'm going to throw it out there, though. These doorways, I couldn't make them any smaller than I have. So I don't know if the Planet Zoo Plus mod doesn't work for these animals yet, but yeah, I just could not get it to go any smaller. But yeah, one of the things you get with the Planet Zoo Plus mod is this gravel piece, and I decided to coat the bottom of the water in it, and look at the beautiful effect that we get from it. Slightly murky water, and then you kind of get this beautiful gravel effect, and then you've got all your plants basically as well, and I just think it's absolutely smashed it. I really do. I think all of my natural pools, I'm going to coat the bottoms in this gravel, because it just looks fantastic. It really does. I'm absolutely loving it. And then yeah, I've just kind of covered all the edges in like woods and rocks and stuff, a bit different. Wanted to go natural again. I was really heavily, kind of like the actual hab, I was really heavily inspired by a zoo in Germany that has got a raccoon habitat, and it was really lush, you know, really heavy on the foliage. There was lots of like natural climbing frames and whatnot, very similar to this. Theirs was even heavier on the foliage, to be fair. Like, I think with Planet Zoo you have to rein it in slightly, because you need your pathways for your animals and your zookeepers to be accessible basically. The zookeeper really struggles in here, I'm going to be honest with you, because there's just so much going on. There's so much wood and whatnot, but yeah, I think it looks really nice. Now, I've left it open back here. I don't know if I'm going to add too much back here, but I've left it all open here, because this is where the zookeeper comes in, and obviously when we drop animals off and all that sort of stuff, it's good to keep that area clear. And then the way this is kind of built is this would be the skunk, and this would be the raccoon. And obviously you can see with the raccoon, they've got an extra special entrance as well as this bottom one. This one is just kind of like one that they can go in and out a little higher up basically. And the thing is that's really cool about this is it actually works. I've got it to work. So yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing with it, to be honest with you. I look through the window, you can get a little view of what's going on in there. And yeah, I'm really buzzing with the fact that we get this to work. I've actually watched a raccoon walk up here and through and in. So yeah, it is really cool, to be honest with you. We've got a little burrow here. This is for the skunks, and basically I've put it here because I wanted to hide it basically. I didn't really want it to be on show, so I just wanted it to be there for the skunks to be able to use basically. So that is why it is there. Now, the raccoons do mess about in the water a fair amount. they're actually pretty good swimmers from what I was reading. So yeah, they do actually mess about in the water a fair amount. So that's pretty cool. The skunks don't go anywhere near it. So yeah, it's a bit of a deterrent for them, but the raccoons, they don't care. So yeah, it's one of the other reasons why I wanted to use the water as well and have these walls be large enough and whatnot to kind of stop the raccoons from climbing out, basically. But it's a very pretty habitat. Like, I'm absolutely buzzing with it. So happy with it, gang. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this bit first, because it's a little underwhelming, I'm going to be honest. But yeah, look, there's another great view of the habitat from here. It really is really pretty, isn't it? I wish I could have hid the building a bit more, but, you know, the more you put plants in front of doorways and whatnot, it stops the animals from being able to get in and out. So, yeah, maybe like another one of those bushes, maybe over here, and then we call it a day. But I think I did a pretty good job, like, covering it as much as I did. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it, to be honest with you, gang. And I'm actually okay with the flat roof as well. It really grew on me. I really felt like I wanted something that was pitched because of going with like a log cabin type design, but it just looked too big, and I'm quite happy with that. But anyway, taking a look at this, this is like a little, basically an up close and personal viewing area. And the way that we've done it is that because of the water, we've actually had to bridge the gap. And so I've bridged the gap with like wood pieces, but the raccoons could swim and climb up here anyway. But we got like this little dock sort of area, and then they've got their entrance there. The back, the reason why this is going in a different direction to this is because these pieces were too large to go in that direction. So it looks a bit weird, don't it? But it's one of those things. You've got to get round. You've got to get round these things your own way, gang. So yeah, got this little area, and then they go in basically. And yeah, so if we were to go around this side. This is like a little up close and personal kind of, you know, sort of viewing area for our guests. It's like a little peekaboo area essentially. But our raccoons can come over here, and they've got, you know, some ropes and whatnot they can kind of mess about on. They've got one that's like hanging from. I've done some like mesh on the roof so that we could like hang some stuff from that as well. And then you can see like we've got a bunch of bedding, and there's all dirt and whatnot in here. The only thing I didn't do is I probably should have put a door on here for our zookeeper, because it's not accessible at the minute. So yeah, that's on me. We do have the space there to put a door, so that's something I can work on for next episode. Basically, it's just sticking a door on it. But yeah, just so that our zookeepers can get in and out as and when they need to. But yeah, we've got this little rope, and then this little area up here, and I think it looks all right, to be honest with you. The raccoon don't actually have a lot of enrichment items, which is unfortunate, because I would have liked to have put a few more in here. But you know, we got the box, we got the sleeping stuff, and we got the ropes and whatnot they do mess around on. So yeah, it's just a little up close and personal area, and we're going to have a bit of education on there. And yeah, as you can see, it's like really like, it's so basic at the moment. Like, I would like to add a bit of detail to the edges and the bottom, and yeah, a bit of stuff on the ceiling, get a vent on there, and yeah, a lot of stuff. But I was just running out of time, really running out of time, and I wanted to get this episode out on a particular day, and I'm 2 days behind that particular day I wanted to get it out. So yeah, it's typical Dan style at the end of the day. So yeah, that's kind of that piece. We got the walls. I carried on this brick design. I was not going to do this, but I carried on the stone design, and I actually think it smashes it. Looks really good and works with the wood so nicely. We've made this little like cubby bit here to put this bench in, couple of benches there, and then I'm going to leave this bit open, and I'm going to try and duplicate those benches again, kind of over in this direction, because we're going to join up, and I'm going to talk about all this anyway after. So that is the hab, and that is the little area there. Let me know what you're making of that, gang. I'd really appreciate it. And then what we're going to do is show you the kind of building that the animals are kind of kept in and all that sort of stuff. So as you can see, Very, very different building, I'm going to be honest. The windows are all really different. I've kind of used wood instead of kind of going with all that heavy kind of metal design. I missed a piece, of course I did. Anyway, that doesn't matter. It's a 5-minute fix, that. It really, really is. Yeah, we are going to go through the door. Now, I use the same door that I used for the Buffalo. I actually think this door is so good. And I was thinking that the doors probably do need to be a bit wider because of getting things like wheelbarrows in. So, yeah, that's why I've done it. So this is the very first room that you are welcomed into when you enter the building. We've got like a little table here, just something that can help the zookeepers out, basically. There's a bunch of boxes and buckets and whatnot, all kind of like hanging about. Oh my God, all of the bits above the windows are not done. Actually, it was just that one window, so I've gone ahead and fixed it. Anyway, that's job done. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I've had to kind of use wood. I wouldn't ordinarily decorate windows like that at the top, but yeah, the walls ain't thick enough to kind of do it the way I usually would do it. As you can see, I've done it there and it worked because those walls are a bit thicker, but yeah, unfortunately we couldn't do it the usual way. But anyway, yeah, as you can see, this is kind of this is just like a room where we kind of welcome in the kind of staff in and whatnot, and they can grab some tools and all that sort of stuff if they need to. Now, if we go this way, this is to the skunks, and this way is to the raccoons. I am actually going to put some like little signposts, I think, up on the wall to kind of say like room 1 and room 2 or something like that, because you know, you would see stuff like that. So we're going to jump in to the raccoons first. Now, I haven't done that, as we know. That bit needs sorting out, the door there. I don't know how I've managed to miss it. But look, I've done all the other windows. God knows how I've managed to miss it. But anyway, this is the skunk side. So we've got like one of those little cabinets and whatnot that we built a while ago, and I love just putting all of the items in now. We've got ourselves one of the wheelbarrows as well, and then we come up this way and we've got all our little water stations and a few more bits on the wall, some boxes and whatnot, and then this is the skunks indoor area. And so as you can see, I've done it really, really different this time. So I've just kind of done it so that the sort of caged area is kind of like the same size as the door. The reason I've done it like this and put the top on it is because obviously the raccoon can come in it. So we needed to make sure that we had the top to protect from the raccoon being able to climb over and whatnot this side. But yeah, this side is for the skunks. It really didn't need to have too much in here. Maybe we could have done with like a little cubby box or something, maybe over in this corner. But that's something that maybe I could do at a later date if people agree. You know, they do like to kind of be covered up and whatever. So it kind of is that to it that we could do, but I just wanted to keep it pretty basic for now. And then vents on the wall and whatnot. And then if we come back this way and we go in this side takes us to the raccoons. And now the raccoons is a bit different because, you know, they're pesky little animals and they need, you know, climbing frames and climbing room. And actually, you can see we've got a couple of raccoons in here at the minute, which is pretty cool. But yeah, as you can see, they've got their little kind of ramps that go up. And it's all metal framework that kind of keeps this all on the wall. And then I've got these wooden pieces because they're like a bit more climbable. A feeder up there. That's the doorway out that way. And that's their doorway at the bottom, basically. And then we've kind of got all this again to kind of just a bit of extra bits and bobs all over the place. Wasn't quite enough room in here for one of those like cabinets, unfortunately, but we got our little water kind of area, cleaning area again. So yeah, it looks pretty good, doesn't it? It does look pretty good. It's slightly higher this side, obviously because of them needing a bit more room to kind of climb and whatnot, but it's very much done in the same design as the other side. It is very, very different, but I actually think that this is so much better for creating these backstage parts, you know, like I think maybe bigger animals using the original kind of metal pieces is pretty good, but this looks more like metal. That is actually a bit plasticky looking in my opinion. So yeah, I really, really liked the way this has turned out. So yeah, that's that side, gang. And yeah, that's really it, to be honest. But that's why the building is actually quite large, because we've kind of got this like central kind of room, and then off of it there's like 2 extra kind of rooms. And if we're kind of looking at it as well, you can see that all the ventilation all matches up to all of the rooms as well, all the piping and whatnot. And we've got our solar panels and stuff on the roof, and yeah, that's kind of the way it looks. So like from a backstage point of view, it looks pretty cool. And then it looks pretty cool the other side. So yeah, the reason this is like this is because there's path there, by the way. This is all work we've got to do, but we're going to talk about that in a moment. But that is the brand new Raccoon and Skunk habitat. You will obviously get to see these little critters have a move about in a bit with the cinematics. But first and foremost, we've got some stuff to talk about. Right, gang, so I've got a couple of things I want to cover in the what's happening next. I'm going to be really, really quick about it. I know that sometimes I can just chat and chat and chat and just waffle about this stuff, but I want to keep this nice and short and sweet. So, this area here, this kind of North American area, I'm quite inspired with this area at the moment, and I'm 70-30 thinking about staying over here, even though I said I was going to do some other stuff, but I'm really enjoying it. But basically, next episode might be another one of those episodes where we do a bit of touch-up work, and I also have this idea of potentially kind of decorating the zoo a little bit for Halloween, because we got the Twilight Pack, so there might be a special kind of shorter episode coming, shall we say. But one of the big things that I do want to work on is obviously I want to tile this backlot stuff up, but I want to redesign this stable. Now, I don't just want to redesign it because I don't like it. I want to redesign it because we're having issues with it with the animals. Now, I had a glitch with this hab where the zookeeper kept ending up on the ceiling, on the outside, on the roof, and then it got so bad that they wouldn't come down. So then the animals weren't getting fed and whatnot, and then when the animals were, you know, kind of respawning if something happened, they get boxed up in an area and they can't move from that area. Essentially, this stable design is just all wrong, and it needs to be kind of improved, basically. It does need to be improved upon. So basically, because of where the gate to the hab is at the front, he throws the box there, and so that's where the horse gets released. But when you think about it, that's all wrong, isn't it? Because the horse can't get through this gap. And so then they just get stuck, basically. So, yeah, I really do need to do a big rework on this. And I'm thinking about taking some inspiration from the water buffalo, basically, where I'm going to have a central line, basically, that goes out to the main hab. So then when he throws boxes out, if he ever has to, like new animals and whatnot, they go straight out into the habitat. And then we have a door, basically. And so the kind of backs of those, sort of the fronts of the hab, go along that central path, all along the front, but then there's a kind of gate towards the back, and then they can walk in and kind of pick the stables that they want. It means I might rotate this building and go that way, and then we'd have to do a bit of a rework for this, but I think this needs to be made a little bit bigger. Anyway, this building definitely does, because the animals, I very much underestimated the size of the animals when I built this, so that might be potentially next episode. It's just a big rework on that hab. Getting all this planting done back here, getting the road stuff done as well, and then I think, you know, we'll be in a really, really cool place. But, you know, I want to ask your opinion, gang. Obviously, I mentioned that we were going to really just crack on with Into Asia, but are you interested in me carrying on in Into Asia? You know, doing the elephants is what we were planning on doing next, or, you know, would you maybe like to see me do what's left of this area, which would be the beavers, the restaurant, and the wolves? Basically, that's basically what's left of this area, I think, now. So yeah, let me know, basically. But yeah. My next couple of episodes are probably just going to be shorter ones. We might even work on this in the stream, because I will be streaming Planet Zoo this week. So yeah, might even work on that in the stream, to be honest with you. Might be something quite interesting to work on. And then, yeah, we can even talk about it in the stream. But if not, we will be heading over here once I've done that and getting cracking on the elephants. But yeah, it's a new hab, it's more work to do, but I've had a lot of fun doing this, and I think this area looks absolutely amazing now. And so there you have it, my friends. We're done and dusted for another episode of Tropical Wings Zoo. Enjoy the cinematics, enjoy these amazing new animals from the Twilight DLC, having a little run around. Let me know in the comment section below what you made of the habitat. I would really, really appreciate all your feedback. Anything you think I should change, you know, I'm always willing to listen to your comments, whether they're good or bad. Yeah, I've had so much fun building this one. I really, really did. It took me a bit longer than I really wanted it to, but I personally think it looks really cool, and you know, it really stands out as a special hab in the zoo. But I'm done and dusted, my friends. I'm going to tell you to do all the usual stuff: like, share, subscribe, get involved in the comment section below, and be sure, if you're new around here, to check out the description box to follow not only my Discord but my socials as well, to stay up to date with everything going on DanXG. But my friends, until next time, stay safe, stay humble, and I'll see you all later.